Hey! So, I just got home from work. Literally, I don't know, like 30 minutes ago. As you can see, I did my usual just work beat, and I got home early. As you can see, there's still daylight outside, which is new for my filming schedule. And I thought, this beat is cute, and I'm having a lovely, lovely, lovely hair day. So let's sit down, do some fun makeup, see what we can do with this. Yeah. Alrighty. Now that I'm changed into something that's more comfy and I don't mind getting a mess on, I'm thinking about I've had this image of myself when I was rushing through makeup and I did my little outline for my liner and I thought it looked cool. Jump scare warning, because it's, I do certainly look like I'm in a rush and I look pissy, but anyways, I think I'm gonna do that. And then I have these earrings that I'm obsessed with, here. And they're this gorgeous, like, fuchsia-y color. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do something like that, where the liner is more graphic, more hollowed out. I'm thinking something along the lines of this, which the concept didn't go great on my hands. But you know what? We'll figure it out when we get there. I want to do some like neon light kind of thing. You know, like neon signs, like those. Like, yeah. But like tropical, fun, pink and green, love. So I'm going to try to get rid of just enough makeup to do my drag base. Maybe keep like natural skin. I don't know. We're going crazy. But let's get started. Alrighty, first things first. Just a heads up, in this video, because I already have my work makeup done, I do cut a lot of corners in terms of my base. If you want a full in-depth look at the way that I do my drag base, feel free to look at my previous video, which I do a full run-through of. I'm grabbing my Kryolan TV paint stick in shade NB1, and I'm basically putting that everywhere that I don't have product already. So that's going to start with my lower face, and then, whenever you're ready. Now that we're back with a wet sponge, I'm going to bring that down onto the jaw, and then once that's done, I'm going to bring it up onto the forehead, and this does, in fact, look crazy. Next up, we're going to take the Most Concealer from KimChi Chic in shade Solid White, and I am going to start carving out the places that I want to brighten on my face. So that's the inner corners, that's down the sides of the nose, at the top of the mustache area, at the top of the chin, right on that T-zone between the brows. And we're just going to go in and lighten everything up to help blend that foundation together to make it look less crazy. Then we're going to give ourselves a faux jawline using concealer, just generally creating a whole new face shape for the fantasy of drag. Next up, we are going to grab the Sunset Makeup, the colorful foundation in white, and have some flashbacks. But thankfully it doesn't explode, so I get to use my foundation. And we are going to do my signature in drag, which is essentially taking this white foundation and carving it down the sides of the nose to create like a reverse contoured look, and then bringing it up to create a faux eyelid. That is, of course, until I realized that I once again forgot the step that precedes this. So I'm going to grab my Ellis Atlantis X Blend Bunny palette, and I'm going to grab a little fluffy brush, and I'm going to dip into the shade Entrancement, which is this hot, hot pink, and it is super pigmented, so I'm going in super, super light. I'm kind of smoking out the upper and under part of the outer corner of the eye, and then I'm creating the shadow on top of where the faux eyelid will go, and dragging that down the bridge of my nose where you would normally contour. Now that all that shadow is laid down, I'm going to do what I had originally intended, which is taking that white foundation and cutting through that shadow to create a crisp, clean line where I want that like cut going through and against the contouring of the nose. Now that both sides are mostly even, I'm going to just go in with that fluffy brush and that fuchsia shade again, start that process of blending it together, and then I'm going to do my usual of taking the whitest shade I can find, also from the Blend Bunny and Ellis Atlantis palette, and I'm setting all of that white all the way down the nose and through the eyelid, and then also setting the white points I said earlier. Now that the base for my eye is done, I'm going to take this Lovecraft Beauty 3 blush palette, and I'm going in with the blush that I already had laid down, and I'm buffing out all of the edges to make it actually blend in with this new foundation that I laid down. I'm also extending the top of my blush upwards so it doesn't look like a harsh line ending with the fuchsia of the eye. I'm also going to retouch up the chin and the bridge of the nose. Now that we're done fixing up our blush, we can take, this interesting brush that's probably not hygienic. And we're going to grab our Ellis Atlantis palette. I'm going to dip into the shade Infestation, which is, appropriate given the brush. And I'm going to make the outline of a wing with this green shadow over top of the pink. And while I'm starting with swiping motions, I'm going to really intensify the line using exclusively stippling motions to get as much pigment as I physically can out of this green. And boom, we have two solid green lines. They might not be symmetrical, but they're there. And I tried a few different versions. I tried, the white liner. I tried the white foundation. I'm just gonna go with the Epic Wear NYX white liner. And I'm essentially going to follow the shape that I had just created. So I'm dragging a white line through the middle of that green. I'm essentially building that like neon light vibe by doing the surrounding glow first and then the bright white center afterwards, and I'm drawing that in the shape of liner. And once that's done, I'm going back in with that green shadow, and I'm just trying to go around those edges, trying to give it a bit more of a blur, re-emphasize that color so that it sticks out as green specifically against that pink, and just trying to make that white stand out a bit more. Once I've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with that liner and that shadow, I'm going to dip back into that Ellis Atlantis palette in the shade Ethereal, which is this shimmery shade with like a pink undertone. And I'm running that just along the space of the shadow inside of that cut out wing to give that shimmery effect. I'm also using it as a highlighter on the cheeks, on the bridge of the nose, on the tip of the nose, and a little bit down the sides to follow that white, as well as on the bridge of the Cupid toe. Moving on to brows, I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills 3-in-1 brow pencil in shade Granite, and I'm just extending the brows that I had already done earlier in the day. And these don't need to be perfect because I'm going to go over them with shadow, but I just want to have them long and sharp as opposed to my like everyday workwear, like short and bushy little cutesy brows. To finish up the brows, I'm going to grab an angled brush and dip into the Ellis Atlantis palette for the 10 billionth time in the shade The Void. And I'm going to go over literally exactly what I just put down, but in pure black, so it really sticks out against those pinks and against my skin tone, and hopefully really brings out the black coloring in my hair. Next up, to prep our lashes for falsies, I'm going to go in with the Half Magic Eyelectric Extreme Lengthening Mascara in the shade Urchin. And I'm just going in with a few extra layers to really try and get that lengthening, pure black lash vibe. For lashes, I'm grabbing my usual, which is this like 36 pack of Alley Crown Beauty lashes that I cut and customized to make myself, but Normally I use them like as thick as possible, but for this, I really want to show off the hollow of the wing. So I'm specifically cutting them to be itty bitty, and I'm cutting from the end so that they're even smaller. And I'm applying my Tadaki eyelash glue. I'm blowing on it till it gets tacky, and I'm essentially applying it like a half lash. So I'm applying it only at the end of my eye and flattening it down and pinching it in with that freshly placed mascara. So I won't lie to you, lips are not my specialty, and I didn't have any lip liners that I thought would really work for this. So I'm grabbing this Flower Nose Strawberry Cupid collection palette, this eyeshadow palette, and I'm dipping into this, like, I don't know, it's kind of like a coffee brown, but like a light little latte coffee brown shade, and I'm lining my lips with it. And honestly, I ended up kind of really loving this. I want to go with a really subtle, really neutral lip to really draw the attention to the eyes and to the liner. To finish off the lip, again, I would never normally do this in drag, but because I want it to be a super subdued, super chill lip, I'm grabbing the Clinique Black Honey and I'm just filling in the lips with it. And I'm really just rubbing it around, trying to get it to lay super flat, maybe a little bit of shimmer. Yeah, I think that the dark color just beautifully contrasts the brights of the eye. So that is the finished look, and definitely a bit weird for me. It's this like mix between, it's not like drag, but it's not a subtle beat either. It's this weird like in between. Honestly, I'm feeling a bit weird about the tiny lashes. Very not normal for me. The liner came out pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to go over. It's a pretty simple look. Oh, that highlight. Maybe if I were to do a look similar like this in the future, I would do a bit of a lighter look. I was thinking of incorporating a little bit of this Kylie lip that I have, because it's a bit lighter. But overall, I think it's cute. It's, again, it's weird wearing like a turtleneck in drag. I feel very much like I'm not doing drag. I'm not wearing my usual contacts either, so I don't know. But let me know if you enjoyed. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, all of the things, and I will see you again soon.